ओम ज्ञानातिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। हे कृष्णा कर्ण सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते। सप्तकांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So we'll start with some revision, and I made some slides. Today we are going to do Isopanishad invocation mantra. Let's pay our obeisances to Shri Radha Govinda for their mercy. Srila Prabhupada. And we did introduction last time, Prabhupada's lecture. This is what we did. Definition of the Vedas. Prabhupada explained Veda means knowledge. 4 defects of a human being. Yes, my admins, what are the 4 defects of a human being? Very quickly tell me. You can keep moving. What are the 4 defects of a human being?
They have one who commits mistakes, cheats others, illusion, and imperfect senses.
Very nice. And then you all will get chance now. So qualifications of a bona fide spiritual master. What are the 2 qualifications? Yes, from the audience, who will tell me very quickly. And everyone can type. You know, everyone can type. Please be engaged 100%. Don't do anything else right now. It's a small chapter. Yes, Abhita, Mataji. What are the 2 qualifications of a bona fide spiritual master?
Spiritual master has to rightly head the Vedic message from a right source, Mataji, and one who follows and practices in alignment with the disciplinic succession.
Disciplic succession, very nice, good. 3 ways of acquiring knowledge. Yes, who's going to tell me? And everyone can write, please. 3 ways of acquiring knowledge. Sapna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hari bol.
Pratyaksha Praman, Shabda Praman, and Anumana Praman.
Very nice. What is the meaning of Pratyaksha Praman?
Pratyaksha Praman is.
Yes, what is the Pratyaksha Praman? Okay, she's going in and out. Okay, Uma Mataji. Yes, what is Pratyaksha Praman, Uma Mataji?
Directly acquiring the knowledge. Direct knowledge.
Perceiving. Seeing is believing. Okay, what is Anuman Praman?
Pratiksha. Anuman Praman is hypothesis. Hypothesis of hypothetical it is.
Okay, and what is
hypothetical knowledge?
What is Anuman Praman is estimating.
Hearing from the.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, Hanuman.
Sorry. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, what are the 2 processes of acquiring knowledge? Who's going to tell me? Namacharya, you're here? 2 processes of acquiring knowledge. We studied last time. People who have not answered, please, you can type or you can unmute. I'm sorry, you can raise your hand.
Mataji, can I?
No, Sapna, you already answered. Thank you. Madhurani, Mataji. Madhurani, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Shruti from Anis and Smruti.
No. Thank you. 2 processes of acquiring knowledge. What are they? Simbi Mataji.
Mataji, inductive and deductive.
Very nice. What is inductive? What is deductive?
Inductive is you live by the conclusion of what you see, and deductive is you first accept, then you experiment, and then you have to come to a conclusion whether it is right or wrong. That way.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, so inductive and deductive are the two ones, and deductive is disciplic succession, and inductive is something which one hypothesizes, then experiments, waste of time. Okay, then I wanted to go over this last time, but I was not ready with the slides. This is only from introduction. We are still in introduction. We have not started invocation yet. There are 3 divisions of Vedas, Prashthantraya. Okay, Vedas are divided into 3 subcategories. One is Shruti Prashthan. Shruti Prashthan means what is heard, original Veda. Vedas are divided into categories, 4 categories by Vedavyas. That's called Shruti Prashthan. And then Smriti Prashthan is that which is remembered by the sages. Smriti means memory, so remembered by sages in the form of Puranas. Puranas means which is something which is ancient, complete. There are 18 main Puranas plus others. There are not only 18, but 18 main and plus others. Smriti Prashthan is also presented in the form of Itihasas. Itihasas mean Vedic history like Mahabharata, Ramayana, etc. And Manusmriti. And then the third one is Nyaya Prashthan, which is logic, Vedanta Sutra, logically. Further divisions within Vedas, Samhitas, collections of metric texts like mantras, like Brahma Samhita. Brahma Samhita is the collection of mantras where Krishna's offered prayers. The Brahmanas, Brahmanas are prose texts sorry, there's going to be one tat only. I did. That discuss in technical fashion some ritual as well as comment on their meanings and many connected themes. Means that it explains the ritualistic processes, mostly for the grihasthas. Different kind of rituals that grihasthas do. And the Aranyakyas, or the wilderness text of forest treaties, it contains discussions and interpretation of dangerous rituals and various sorts of additional material. Upanishads are philosophical parts of the Vedas. This is what we are doing. So Upanishad means to sit near the spiritual master. That is the word meaning of the word Upanishad. Okay, so what happens? Language of Upanishads is very cryptic. Therefore, it can be interpreted in many ways. So we need the guidance of a bona fide guru, because Upanishads have many apparent contradictions. The Supreme Lord walks, but he does not walk. Supreme Lord is within and also without. Supreme Lord is very near, but also very far away. So it can be interpreted in many ways. These analogies, these apparent contradictions. So that is why we have to sit near a spiritual master who is bona fide and can tell us the literal meaning. In Chaitanya Chaitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 7, text verse number 108, Srila Prabhupada gives the list of 108 Upanishads. But there are more. Okay, and most of the Upanishads are on the Sambandha platform, relationship level that I discussed last time. Now, the book that we are reading, Sri Upanishad, it is a part of Yajurveda, Mukhya type of Veda, one of the 10 main Upanishads among the Katha, Kena, etc. It is analytical and philosophical by nature, but also very poetical and prayerful. So it mostly deals with the Sankhya and Jnana, analysis and philosophy. It has prayers towards the end of the verse, but before, in the beginning, we just read about the analysis and philosophy, as we will do today. So today we are going to talk about like analysis and philosophy. That all the mantras are like that, but it is very poetic. It is very prayerful, and towards the end, it has a lot of prayers for Krishna. We must all memorize them. This invocation mantra I'm going to start next, and I request all of you to memorize this invocation mantra. Okay, I will chant 1 or 2 times, and if anybody wants to chant, maybe 4 other people will get chance in the interest of the time. So if you know how to chant, you can raise your hand, but I will set the meter. So basically the etiquette is the speaker sets the meter, means you don't change the tune which the speaker sets. It could be different from what you know, but still the etiquette needs to be followed. We also do that in the temple. I am used to saying something else, but the speaker says something else, but I changed my meter to the speaker. So invocation mantra, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. I'll chant one more time. Om Purnam Adha Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. So, Vandana Mataji, yes. You want to chant? You want to chant?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, Smita Mataji.
Om Purnamida Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamedavashishyate. Have I missed something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's say again, try again.
Om Purna Ada Purnaidam Purnat Purnaudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamedavashishyate.
Eva Vashishyate. Thank you, Mataji.
Vashishyate.
Very nice. Okay, one more person. Gopal Prabhu, yes. Please go ahead. Gopal Bola.
Om Purnamida Purnamadat Purnat Purnadamuchyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyati.
Thank you, Prabhu, but you changed the meter. But thank you. Nicely chanted. Okay, so I'll carry on, and in the end, if we have time, then we will give chance to more people. Okay, but I'm gonna carry on now. So this is the translation, and then we'll analyze and understand the verse. The personality translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because He is completely perfect, all emanations from Him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because He is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from Him, He remains the complete balance. Okay, so we'll analyze. It has few subdivisions. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. First part. Om Purnam Ada. Perfect and complete. And because He is completely perfect, all emanations from Him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because He is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from Him, He remains the complete balance. So what does it mean? The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. So Krishna is not deficient in anything. He is perfect, He has everything in perfection, and He is complete in itself. And because Krishna is perfect and complete, whatever is coming out of Krishna in this phenomenal world, or such as this phenomenal world where we are living in, is perfectly equipped as complete wholes. For example, if there is a mother and the mother gives rise to a child, the mother's body is complete in itself. You know, she has one heart, she has 2 kidneys, she has one brain. That means she has her own digestive system, nervous system. She is complete. Her body is complete in itself. She is functioning complete. And that is why she is able to give rise to a child who is also a complete unit in itself. The child who is born is not sharing mother's heart, is not sharing mother's kidney, is not sharing mother's nervous system. No. It's different complete unit. Why was it possible? Because I'm just giving an analogy. Mother's body is completely perfect in itself. Similarly, because He is completely perfect, all emanations from Him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. So we are a complete unit in ourselves, this earth. We have our own water, we have our own air, we have our own seasonal changes, we have our own vegetations, our own ecosystem, everything. We are not sharing. We are dependent, yes, because it's a part of the phenomenal world, but we are not sharing our ecosystem with Mars, Pluto, or whatever, Neptune, Jupiter. They are complete units in themselves. We are complete unit in ourselves. So whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. And because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. So, for example, a mother gives rise to 10 children. So her body is not divided into 10 parts now. Her body still remains complete. And children who are coming out are also complete. So Krishna is giving rise to so many things. Krishna is a source of universe, spiritual and material. But that doesn't mean that now Krishna's body is distributed in every universe. No, Krishna remains as he is. And he's able to give rise to all these things at the same time. This actually refutes the Mayavad philosophy. Mayavad philosophy says God is something like this. For example, if you have this paper, okay, now I rip this paper. They say Krishna is like this paper, and I rip this paper. I rip it, and then I now the original paper is lost because the paper has been now ripped. That is what they say. Because Krishna has given rise to so many spiritual worlds and material worlds, the original Krishna is now lost. But that is wrong. First mantra of Sri Upanishad is not even first mantra actually. It's just the invocation. We are just invoking the prayer to Sri Upanishad to give us the knowledge. Just invocation itself is refuting the entire Mayavad philosophy. Entire Vaishnava philosophy is so powerful. Just the invocation has refuted the basis of Mayavad. Because he's complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. That is how Krishna eats. When we offer food to Krishna, so many people ask, how does the Krishna eat? Food is as it is. Krishna eats. Krishna eats and he also keeps the food as it is. He can do it. Okay, so concept of completeness in 3 aspects. Prabhupada, this we have, whoever is in the detailed class must have read, or even in under Sankirtan 18 days, 4th chapter we discuss. So completeness is depending on one's level of spiritual realization. Krishna can be understood as Bhagavan, Paramatma, or Brahman. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Sat Chid Ananda Vigraha. This is his complete form. Sat Chid Ananda. Sat means eternal, Chit means full of knowledge, and Ananda means full of bliss. So Krishna's form has these 3 things in complete. Vigraha. Vigraha means form. So realization of the impersonal Brahman is realization of his Sat feature or his aspect of eternity. People who say that Krishna is God, Krishna is energy, or God is energy, or it's just a sky, or God has no form, they're only able to realize the Sat feature of his existence, means eternity. Okay, now somebody who's realizing the Paramatma realization, the realization of Krishna in the heart of every living entity, is realizing the Sat and Chit potencies, or Sat and Chit features. So that means it is the aspect of eternity and knowledge. Paramatma realization only leads to these 2 things. But Bhagwan realization, or realization of the personality of Godhead in the form of Bhagwan, or personality, is a realization of all transcendental features, Sat, Chit and Ananda. Okay? So depending on one's level of realization, if I'm realizing Krishna as this, does anyone recognize this photograph in this class? Where did I take this photo from? Nobody? From Mayapur, yes. Srilata Srinivas Mataji, correct. Yes, Mayapur. This is Radha Madhav. This is Madhav. Yes. So whoever realizes Krishna in this form, Shyam Sundar or Radha Madhav, that is their complete realization of Sat, Chit and Ananda. Okay, so there's 3 completeness. Completeness means Sat, Chit, Ananda. But if somebody is realizing the Brahman feature, they are realizing the Sat. Somebody is realizing the Paramatma feature, then Sat and Chit. And somebody who is realizing the Bhagwan feature, or the Vigraha, or the personality form as Supreme Personality, then they are able to realize the entire thing, Sat, Chit and Ananda. Okay, when one realizes the Supreme Person, he realizes these aspects of Absolute Truth in their completeness. Vigraha, Sat, Chit, Ananda, Vigraha, right? Brahma is saying that, Vigraha. Vigraha means form. Thus the complete whole is not formless. It's a very commonly First of all, they say that Krishna is energy. That's refuted. Then they say Krishna is Krishna. God has no form. You are concocting the form. This is a mental concoction. That is also refuted. It is you actually, the person who's saying it is mentally concocting. It's not that the other person who's worshipping Krishna is concocting. It's called Yatomat Tatofat. Yatomat Tatofat principle is that one sees the whole world around them as they are, not as the world is, because they are not able to understand that Krishna has a form. They are trying to impress on everyone that Krishna is formless. But Shastras are not saying that. We have read in the introduction, Shastras are axiomatic truth. It's a deductive way of knowledge. Okay, so complete whole cannot be only formless. Universe is incomplete without Krishna. Nothing happens without Krishna. Krishna has made a complete arrangement for us to get out of this material world. He has made the complete arrangement. And today we will read the chapter. You'll realize that Prabhupada is so nicely impressing that we have the whole arrangement. We cannot say that, oh, I may go to Krishna, I may not go to Krishna. Nothing like that. We have the whole potency, arrangement. Everything is actually given. Plate served in a plate. We are not taking advantage. We are not taking advantage, but Krishna has given. Okay, so Krishna has made a complete arrangement for us to get out of this material world. Okay, get out of this material world and go where? First of all, tell me which deity is this and where is this deity? And then tell me, if he wants us to get out of this world, then where does he want us to go? Yes. Anyone raising hands or nobody raising hands? People have answered, I will not give chance. Maybe at the time of question answers. Yes, Tanvi Mataji.
Mataji, Shishi Radha Damodar.
The deity is Radha Raman in Vrindavan.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and where does Krishna want us to go from after we get out of this material world? Okay, Roja Mataji, yes. Goloka. Very nice. Yes, Roja Mataji.
Goloka Vrindavan Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Okay, Hare Krishna. Correct. So Krishna has given us all these revealed scriptures through the bona fide Acharya, so we can take advantage and go out. Okay, so complete whole cannot be only formless. This phenomenal world is also complete in itself as the external potency of the Supreme Lord. All his potencies are considered complete. How many potencies Krishna has? A little bit difficult question. You can type or you can raise your hand. How many potencies? Over here we use the word external potency of the Supreme Lord. Does anyone remember how many potencies Krishna has? Yes, Sita Mataji.
Are we asking about the three potencies, Mataji, external, internal, and Tatha, or the 64 opulences? I'm not sure which one referring to.
Potency, yes, external, internal, and Tatha Asa Shakti. Yes, that's what I'm asking, the marginal potency.
Sure. So external is Mahamaya, internal is Yogamaya, and Tatha Shakti is the marginal potency where we sometimes remember and sometimes forget Krishna.
Very nice. Yes. External, internal, marginal. Yes, very nice. And everyone is writing in the chat also. So the phenomenal world where we are living, the world, the place where we're living is external potency. We are marginal potency, but the place we are living is, like, for example, if you're sitting in your house, that house itself is an external potency of Krishna. But you as a resident of the house belong to marginal potency of Krishna. External potency of Krishna is Bhumi Aplo Anayor Vayur Man Mano Buddhi Reva Chap. 8th chapter, Krishna 7. I think 7 explains that. Ayo, where is this word? Is it 8th chapter? I think it is 8th chapter. I'm sorry, I'll have to check. So earth, water, fire, air, ether are my and mind, intelligence, and false ego. They are my external potencies. And the living entity, or we, are on the margin. Sometimes we want to go to Krishna, sometimes we want to go away from Krishna. So we are sitting in the margin. Okay, so the phenomenal world is also complete in itself as the external potency of the Supreme Lord. Krishna is showing his completeness in a lot of places in this verse. Examples of complete units in the universe. 8,400,000 species of living entities are formed. And they are complete in themselves. A small insect who is running around in the corner of a house is a complete unit. In itself, it has its own body, own separate existence. And a big, gigantic fish in the middle of the ocean, the minga fishes, they're so gigantic that they don't even come out. And the so-called big fishes like dolphins and all, they are small fishes in front of them. So Prabhupada gives example of a bird which is flying from one planet to another planet. There are birds like this in this universe. Shastras reveal, but they're complete units. Small insect or such a big animal, they're complete. Sun is also a complete unit in itself. Our body is complete unit in itself. Okay, and the universe in which we are staying is also a complete unit in itself. And they all function as complete units. My body is not dependent on my neighbor's body, right? It is functioning on its own. When it becomes dependent on something, then it is an unnatural situation. Natural situation is to be independent and function completely. So which deities are these that write to me? So all the facilities are given to the small complete units to enable them to realize the complete whole. So we are complete units, and Krishna has given us the set of ears, set of vocal cords, set of eyes, set of nose, set of hands, all these, and set of like eating tongue or walking or thinking, brain. So we are given these units. Why are we actually given all this? Why Krishna is giving it to us? So that we can realize the complete whole. So that we can understand Krishna. This is the real reason why we have what we have. Vrindavan, Vrindavan, Vrindavan. Yes, yes, it is Vrindavan. Thank you. So Radha Shyamsundar and Krishna Balram. So the complete whole is not formless. The argument has to be understood. Okay, I am coming, I have a form. So how can my source be formless? If I belong to my parents, then go back, then my parents belong to their parents, and then go back, their parents belong to their parents, go back. So it's a relative existence, that I am related to my parents are related to their parents. So relative, but what is absolute? What is absolute? Absolute is Krishna. For everyone, for every single person in the entire universe, spiritual or material. So we are living in a very relative life because we are in the bodily concept of life. But absolute existence is possible because of Krishna. If it was formless or less than his creation in any other way, he could not be complete. Purnam. So first mantra it says Om Purnam Adha, perfect and complete. Because if Krishna had no form, then his creation will be more potent than him. And then how can you say that Krishna is Purnam? And invocation mantra says Om Purnamadha, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnam, Udachyate, so many times. The complete whole must contain everything both within and beyond our experience, otherwise it cannot be complete. So it's a very philosophical and analytical way of speaking, which is quite different than Bhagavad Gita and quite different from Srimad Bhagavatam. But it is needed because some people like to understand Krishna from analysis. And so Krishna is presenting, okay, you want to understand me through this way, understand me through this way. So complete whole must contain everything both within and beyond our experience, otherwise he cannot be complete. Okay, so how can the living entities realize his completeness? First, we establish that Krishna is complete. So Krishna has three potencies, Satchit Ananda, three potencies in his existence, Satchit and Ananda features. And realizing Krishna as energy or impersonal form is only representation of his or realization of his Sat potency. Sat means eternity. If somebody is realizing Krishna as Paramatma, then they are realizing Sat and Chit potency. If somebody is realizing Krishna as Bhagwan, then it is Sat, Chit and Ananda potency. And then we established that Vigraha, that Krishna, Vigraha means form. Krishna has form. It's not that God is energy. Otherwise, how can we have a form? How can we have a form if Krishna has no form? It's not possible because we are coming from Krishna. Everything is coming from Krishna. And then the complete whole cannot be formless. Why? Because he's creating so many things, 8,400,000 species of life which have form. Sun has a form. His universe, the creation has a plan. There is a form. So how can a formless thing become a form or create a form? That means we are not realizing Krishna is complete. We cannot say Purnam if we are making him formless. But how can we realize his completeness? So the hand of a body is the complete unit only as long as it is attached to the complete body. Like this hand, my hand, your hand, is a hand in totality, not only in appearance but also in function when it is attached to my body. Okay, God forbid something happens and then somebody's hand is paralyzed or somebody's hand is chopped off. Then the thing may look like a hand, but it has no functionality. So it only has a functionality if it is attached to its source, which is the body. Okay, so similarly, the living entities are complete due to being part and parcel of the complete whole. We are complete because we are connected to Krishna, who is complete. If I separate myself, actually I cannot, but if I try to separate myself from Krishna, then I am not complete. I am frustrated. That is the reason of our frustrations. The completeness of human life can be realized only when one engages in the service of the complete whole. We cannot concoct and sit here and talk only. No, we have to work for Krishna. One realizes in the service of the complete whole. We have to serve Krishna, actively serve Krishna. And first service starts from where? How do we start serving Krishna? We have to start from somewhere. So where do we start from? Yes. Who is going to tell me? Where do we start from? Whoever has answered, please refrain from answering. And whoever has not answered, please answer, even if you think you're going to be wrong. Jaya Tejwani Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Yes, so using the tongue, Sevan Mukhehi Jivadu Swayam Eva Surate Ada. So use the tongue to chant and to taste Krishna Prasadam. Two things we have to do. So start from the tongue. Yes, you have to save your questions for the last. So you save your questions for the last, please. Write it down. So why are we thinking that the things are not complete? Because so far we have studied that I am complete unit, and because I'm a complete unit, I can at least inductively think that my source is complete. Or deductively, I can accept that my source is complete because Isa Upanishad is saying it. Okay, so deductively we can say, and that's the best way. Inductively also I can say that Krishna is complete because I am complete. I can look at myself and then I can say, okay, I have a completely independent functioning body. So who is the source? Source has to be formed. So when we accept that Krishna is complete, then automatically the next realization is Krishna has a form. Krishna is not formless. Krishna is a person, supreme person who can sit with us, talk with us, eat with us, be our friends, have relationship with us in so many ways. Okay, and then we discussed that complete whole, and then we discussed that how can we realize this completeness. We can realize this completeness by looking at our own body. Srila Prabhupada gives example of the hand. My hand is a hand in functionality and in appearance as long as it is attached to my body. If it is severed from the body, then it is a hand in appearance but no functionality. So it is incomplete. Okay, so it is complete only if it is connected to the living body. Similarly, my completeness is considered complete when I am connected to Krishna. And how can I get connected? By serving Krishna. And how can we start serving? Start from somewhere, start from the tongue. So why the things are not complete? Why are we perceiving things are not complete? So Prabhupada explains in later thing, all forms of incompleteness are experienced due to the lack of knowledge of the complete whole. It is not that Krishna is incomplete, because we are not, we are lacking in complete knowledge of Krishna. So we think everything is incomplete. So many people think themselves as incomplete. They want somebody else to complete them. But that is a misconception. Yes, I have seen so many now. If somebody has no children, they think that the children are needed to complete their existence, or to complete their relationship in a marriage, they need to have a child. Or so many, if somebody is lonely and they think that so many, we can actually apply this principle everywhere. Somebody is lonely and they think that they're incomplete. They need some companion to be complete. That is also because of the experience of lack of knowledge of the complete whole. Okay, Supreme Companion is already sitting in the heart. Everyone else is just needed to share that experience of the completeness. That I am complete, why don't you come and share? And you are complete, why don't we cherish that completeness? Not that I am incomplete, you come and complete me. That relationship in any form is very, very painful. It's not going to last. So, or in case of a job, somebody has education and they're jobless, so they think themselves as incomplete without a job. But Krishna says, no, you're complete always. So what happens? Living beings cannot enjoy the life of the senses without being doubted with the complete whole. The misleading life of sense enjoyment is an illusion. Okay, the life that is presented to us by modern civilization is actually an illusion, because the modern civilization is telling the more you possess, the more happy you are. The more you are educated in material education, the more you have feather on your cap. The more you do, the more people are following you, you are more complete. If less people are following you, you are less complete. This is all misleading. People are going on. We are all going on. Actually, we are all going on. If somebody, let's say, what is it? I like this. Orphan. Somebody says, oh, I'm orphan. I have no parents. Yes, there is a curiosity to know, but actually there is always that person is complete. We are incomplete. We have a sense of incompleteness. Not that we are incomplete. We have a sense of incompleteness within ourselves, and then we are sharing it with everyone else. Everyone else around us is getting that experience. We have to sit with Sri Nishad and understand that we are complete. Okay, we'll come to the questions. And let's read now. Let's read this this mantra, and then we'll come to the questions. What happened here? I hope you all are reading this book. Okay, whoever has not chanted and wanted to chant, please raise your hand and you can chant now, looking at this. Whoever has not chanted. This little boy, Vashishtha Lagishati. Yes, you can unmute. You are in 4th grade?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Purnam Adha Purnam Idam Parnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vasishyate.
Thank you. Okay. Namacharya, Vidisha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Om Purnam Adha Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Iva Vashishyate.
Very nice. Can you read translation, please?
Yes. Mataji, can you scroll up, Mataji?
I think there is a lag between my internet and yours.
The personality of Godhead is complete and perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, perfectly equipped as a whole, complete whole. Whatever is
Mataji,
produced
your
of the
audio is
complete
not.
whole
Vidisha
is also
Mataji,
complete by itself.
your audio
Hare
is not.
Krishna Mataji.
Mataji, your audio is not
Okay.
working properly.
Sorry, ma'am.
May I read?
Mataji.
Mataji, may I read?
Madhurani, is it Madhurani?
Ratishar, iPad. May I read?
Yeah, read Mataji, please read.
Yeah. Translation. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as a complete whole. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete by itself. And because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance.
Thank you, Mataji.
I want to read this also.
Mataji, I have 17 hands.
Yeah, okay, Mataji. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you very much.
So, who is saying?
Vibha.
Vibha, go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Perfect. The complete whole or the supreme absolute truth is the complete personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahman forms an incomplete realization of the absolute complete, and also does the conception of Paramatman, the super soul. The supreme personality of Godhead is Satchid Ananda Vigraha. Impersonal Brahman realization is the realization of his Sat or the eternity aspect, and Paramatman, Supersoul realization, is the realization of his Sat and Chit, eternity and knowledge aspects. But realization of the personality of Godhead is realization of all the transcendental features, Satchit and Ananda or bliss. In the personal concept, this is realized in complete form, Vigraha. And so the complete whole is not formless. If he is formless, or if he is less than his creation in any other thing, he cannot be complete. The complete whole must have everything both within our experience and beyond our experience. Otherwise, he cannot be complete.
Okay, Vibha, take a break. Thank you. So, very nice. So, first aspect or first thing that Srila Prabhupada is saying over here is that Krishna is complete. Or complete whole or absolute or supreme absolute truth is a complete personality of Godhead. Supreme personality of Godhead is Satchidananda Vigraha. If somebody is realizing the Brahman potency or Brahman realization, then they are only realizing Sat aspect or eternity. Paramatma aspect or Paramatma realization or super soul realization leads to understanding of Sat and Chit potency. But the realization of Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead leads to realization of Sat, Chit and Ananda potency. Okay, the personal concept is realizing complete form. So the personal concept of blissfulness of knowledge and eternity can only be realized when we take Krishna as a person, complete person. So Krishna is not formless, and I discussed in many forms. Anyway, let's read first and then we'll come back to it. It's a little bit jugglery of words. That is why we need a spiritual master to make us understand. But if you understand, it is very clear. Only 2-3 concepts are discussed. That Krishna is not formless, number 1. Number 2, Krishna is complete. And because Krishna is complete, everything that is coming from Krishna is also complete. And number 4 is despite of everything coming out from Krishna, which is complete, he remains as complete. Okay, so first, Krishna is not formless. Krishna is complete. Krishna is not formless. And everything that comes out from Krishna is a complete unit in itself on the phenomenal world or phenomenal universe. And also, despite of everything coming out of Krishna, Krishna still remains as a complete unit. He maintains his supremacy in all circumstances. Okay, so who wants to read now? Thank you so much for your participation. I'm very encouraged. So Tanvi Mataji, you answered, right? You said one time. Kirti Mataji, yes. Yes, Kirti Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hang on.
The complete personality of Godhead has immense potencies.
The complete whole personality of Godhead has immense potencies, and all of them are as complete as He is. Therefore, this phenomenal or material world is also complete by Himself. The 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation are completely adjusted to produce complete things necessary for the maintenance and subsistence of this universe. No extraneous effort by any other unit is required for this maintenance. The universe has its own time fixed by the energy of the complete whole. And when that time is complete, this temporary manifestation will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. The complete personality of God has immense potencies. So He has immense. What is that verse in Brahma Samhita? Parashaya Shakti Vividheva Shruyate. Krishna has a lot of potencies, but the Acharyas have categorized his potencies into three main headings, which are internal potency, external potency, and marginal potency. And under that, there are so many subheadings, unlimited. So Parashaya Shakti Vividheva Shruyate. So because Krishna has immense potency and all of them are complete in themselves. Therefore, this phenomenal material world is also a complete unit in itself. Okay, so the universe which we are in, if you remember from the Goloka chart, the material universe where we are, we have 7 upper planetary systems, 7 lower planetary systems, and everything else is a complete unit. It is one universe is not dependent on another universe for its functionality. Why is it functioning in a completely independent unit as a complete independent unit? Because it is coming from complete. And Krishna has set a time, but it is temporary. It is complete, it is there, but it is temporary. And Krishna has set up a time, and when the time is up, it will be annihilated again. Okay, so who has to read now? Sri Lakshmi. Hare Krishna, Sri Lakshmi. You can unmute. Mataji, audio is not proper. Please go back and check your audio.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Sneha Joshi Mataji. Go ahead. Yes, there is complete facility.
There is complete facility for the small complete units, namely the living beings, to realize the complete, and all forms of incompleteness are experienced only on account of incomplete knowledge of the complete. The human form of life is a complete manifestation of the consciousness of the living being, which is obtained after evolving through 84 lakh species of life in the cycle of birth and death. If a human being does not realize his completeness within the complete in this life of full consciousness, he loses the chance of realizing his completeness and is put again onto the cycle of evolution by the law of material nature.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Wait, Mataji, it is one paragraph only. So thank you. You read very nicely. So Krishna Prabhupada is giving a punchline here, and that is that if after evolving through 8,400,000 billion or 84 million species of life, then I am not using the asset which is given to me. If I have come to the human form of life by evolutionary process and I am still not using my time to become Krishna conscious, and I have so many objects of attraction, then I am losing a chance to realize the complete. It's a very big loss actually. It's a very big loss that Manushya Janama Paiya, Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya, Janiya Shunya, Vishav Khaiya. So many acharyas and so many great personalities have given us the warning. Why are we losing our chance? Everything is there. but the mind is very disturbed. Mind is very powerful. It's very, very disturbed. And it is very, very distracted, disturbed and distracted. It takes us away. And we realize it when we are chanting Hare Krishna. When we're chanting Hare Krishna, that time the mind is going everywhere. So we have to bring it back. We cannot just go with the mind. Bring it back. Okay? So don't lose the chance. Okay, we're almost done. So Sri Lakshmi Mataji, did you check your audio? Are you ready now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, okay, go ahead, Mataji.
Okay, because we do not know that there is a complete arrangement in nature for our maintenance, we make efforts to utilize their resources of nature to create a so-called complete life of sense enjoyment. This misleading life of sense enjoyment is called illusion, because the living entity cannot enjoy the life of the senses without being dovetailed with a complete whole. For example, the hand of a body is a complete unit as long as it is attached to the complete body. When the hand is detached from the body, it may appear like a hand, but actually it has none of the potency of a hand. Similarly, the living beings are part and parcel of the complete whole. And as long as the parts and parcels are detached for the complete whole, the illusionary representation of completeness is not enough to bring the desired result.
Very nice, thank you. So the living beings are part and parcel of complete whole. As long as part and parcel are detached from complete whole, the illusory representation of completeness is not enough to bring the desired result. Actually, this can be a heading for a very big article. This is a very powerful statement. It can actually change the way we live. The illusory representation of completeness is not enough to bring the desired results. We have an illusory representation. The entire world is going around like this. The illusory representation is, I can only be complete if I possess this and this and this degree. I can only be complete if I have a family which is made of this and this and this. I can only be complete if I am exercising this kind of profession. I can only be complete if I have a car and a home and this much of bank balance. They're all illusory representation. They are. It is. I'm not saying that we should not possess, but that should not be the goal of life. We can possess anything, but if it is not used in service to Krishna, then it's a big zero in someone's life. Even though it may look very attractive. Even though it may look very attractive that, oh, this is so nice, but actually it is, we should understand it is not real. I'm attracted to something again. Once again, I am attracted to something which is not permanent, which is an illusion. Once again, we have been doing it for so many lives. There is nothing glorious about being attracted to something other than Krishna. There's nothing new about it. The new thing is get back to Krishna, reconnect. Okay, Neha Mataji, the completeness of human life, please make if I may request.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Completeness of human life can only be realized when the human form of life is engaged in the service of the complete whole. Any service in this world, whether social, political, communal, international, or even interplanetary, will remain incomplete unless and until it is devoted with the complete whole. And when everything is dovetailed with the complete whole, the attached parts and parcels also become complete in themselves.
Very nice. Thank you. So as long as one can be very happy in serving the society or in serving the government or in serving the nation or doing some community service or doing some international service or doing service to other planets, doesn't matter, unless and until it is in connection to Krishna, they will never get permanent happiness. It will always remain incomplete. That is why, despite of becoming so rich, so educated, so famous, or so-called, not complete, so beautiful, or being born in such a rich family or such aristocratic family, people are suffering. We have to accept that there is a lot of suffering. We have to accept 1 in 4 person in the entire globe on an average 1 in 4 person in the entire globe have had the suicidal ideations in their lives. 1 in 4. Maybe I should die. They have thought about it. Ideation. These are very, we actually don't discuss all these things, but Shastras bring it in the front all the time. It's a very big number. 1 in 4 person on an average in entire world has had these thoughts once in their lifetime at least. That this life is not worth. They have had it and it's real. Okay, there are a lot of anonymous surveys being conducted, and because it is anonymous, people feel comfortable to reveal it, but it is real. Why is it happening? Where is this thought coming from? Why? Because there is a feeling of being incomplete. And why is there a feeling of being incomplete or not being sufficient or not being, productive or not being of service? Why? Because we lack the knowledge of the complete. Once we connect back to Krishna, our life is so much meaning. It's like, putting a 1 in front of so many zeros. So much meaning will be there. Okay, so let's go to the question. Sorry, I stopped sharing my screen. Sorry. So please raise your hands if you know the answer, and then I will take the questions. The Sat Chit Ananda potency of the Supreme Lord. I'm going to lower the hands which are raised because it's very confusing for me. Please don't mind. The Sat Chit Ananda potency of the Supreme Lord is perceived in which stage of spiritual realization? So you can type, everyone can type. And Santosh Abula, yes, what is your answer? You can unmute. Sat Chit Ananda potency of the Supreme Lord.
Bhagavan realization.
Very nice. Very nice. So what happens in the Paramatma realization? What potency is realized?
Yeah, it's Sat and Chit potencies
Very
will
nice.
be the realization.
And what about in Brahman realization?
It's only the Sat potency realization. Mataji.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. So very nice. I'm reading the answers as well. Poonam Mataji, excellent answer. Nidhi Mataji, very nice. So explain how the complete whole is not formless. Give me at least 1 or 2 arguments that Krishna is not formless based on what we read today. So people who have raised their hands, Radha, Murlidhar and Mataji, yes.
He is complete as a whole, and many living entities emanate from him. Even though many living beings emanate from him, all the living beings are complete in themselves, and he is also complete after it. After the...
Okay, very nice, thank you. So what she's saying is that because there are living entities who have form are coming out of him, so he cannot be formless. Yes, Dr. Parik. What would you
if we consider Godhead as complete, he should both be formless and form. And number 2, if we, his creation, are with the form, and if he is complete, the God must have form.
Yes, very nice. But you're saying formless and form. So which stage is higher, formlessness or with the form? Which realization is higher?
I believe formless.
You think Brahman realization is better than the Bhagwan realization?
No, Bhagwan realization is the best.
The Bhagwan realization is Vigraha. That's the Vigraha.
Yeah.
Bhagwan realization has Vigraha, has a form.
So
Brahman realization is the only realization where there is concept of formlessness.
Yeah. Bhagwan realization should be better, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so next, who's going to answer? Explain how the complete whole is creating everything as a complete unit. Give 2 examples of complete unit, for example. That's what I'm asking here. How the complete whole is creating everything as a complete unit. Give me 2 examples. So who have not answered? Vibhai, you read. Okay. Sapna also read. Or she read the Om Purnamada. Chitra Mataji, yes.
Yeah, two examples of complete creations by the complete whole would be the sun, it would be our body, or even the universe.
Very nice. So you give me 3 examples. Very good. So very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Let me read the chat once again. Child from the mother, son and human beings, mother, hand and the body. Okay, thank you. What is the reason for seeing things as incomplete? Why do we perceive some things as incomplete when we have studied so much completeness everywhere? Yes, Bimla Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's because we have got lack of knowledge of Krishna, and we have got illusion, and also we think we are. I mean, we don't know how supreme Krishna is. That's why.
Yes, so thank you, Mataji. Thank you. So the reason for seeing things as incomplete is because we lack the complete knowledge of the complete. We have some tit and bits here and there. Okay, thank you. Now fill in the blanks. Everyone should answer this. Material life of sense enjoyment is an dash. Material life of sense enjoyment. I can be happy if I have 1,000 saris. I can be happy if I can upgrade my car. I can be happy if I can eat in a city. Yes, Sapna, don't answer. You have answered. I have like 100 and some people. Okay, I know you're a very intelligent girl and I love you so much. Let's give chance. So who has not answered? People are raising hands. Duty Mataji has not answered. Yes, Duty Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I think it's illusion, Mataji.
It's an illusion. Very nice.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
So material life of sense enjoyment is an illusion. That doesn't mean that we become a renunciant. No. Okay? Don't take it wrong. Illusion, 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 illusion. Very nice. Everyone wrote there. Very nice. Okay, so this ends the invocation mantra. It's a small mantra. We took an hour. Oh, Krishna. So please memorize this verse. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Okay, every day now keep on chanting. Om Purnamada Purnamidam. So anyone has questions? Sapna, you had a question. Please go ahead.